Hi there guys, Neil at Italia Autos here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. We have the Porsche again behind me and I'm going to be completing several more jobs on it. One of them being changing the air filter. So as you can see, you have to take a lot of bits off just to get to it. So what I've had to do to get to it is remove all the gubbins at the back here. I've had to remove these from the car so I can then lift up the rear screen, which will then give me access to the air filter. As you can see, this is the one that was on the car and it was rather filthy. So I've ordered another one of those, so that's another expense. But it's a service item, so that's expected. And inside the air filter box, there is so much stuff in there. So it's a good job I am changing the air filter on that because it's rather riffy. So the first lot of parts have now arrived for the Boxster. Let's get them open and see what's arrived and how much it has cost me. So the first part out of the box is one of the AC pipes. The second part is the part which goes under the wing. And there we go, and that part costs £300. Next part we have the rear arm to replace, which was bent at the back. That wasn't too bad, this was only about £100. I will go through the prices at the end of the video. We've got some clips for the coolant pipes. The all-important shocker, which wasn't actually that expensive. Brand new rear spoiler. Now this was stupidly expensive considering how much it was. I think this was $255. Two indicators in here. Ah, it's the hook, yes. Now, judging by how lightweight this is 100% going to be bent, so I am better off just fitting a new one rather than faffing around with fitting it and then realising it's still bent. But yeah, this was the most expensive part. This was about 300 quid, and you can see why. It's a proper machine bit of kit. So as I've finished all the work I need to do on customers' cars today, I'm going to tackle the AC pipes. And looking at it, it connects over here, runs down under the wing and then underneath the car. But in order to get it out, I need to take the wiper motor off. So from what I can tell, take the arms off. There's one fix in here, there's one fix in here, and there's bound to be another one somewhere. Yeah, there's one over here as well. One of the best tools in the workshop this is. It saves you a lot of hassle trying to remove wiper arms because they are normally stuck within an inch of their life. And of course this one doesn't want to come off either. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Oh, I don't wanna jinx it, baby. So now we have decent access to the rest of the pipe. We just need to undo that 10mm down there. Yeah. Well, that was a very tight fit. That took some fiddling to get it out, so it's going to be even harder to get the rest of that in because there's no cut pipe work on that one. So here we go, let's try and get it in. Oopsie, forgot to hit record on that, so it's now in. Everything just needs buttoning up. And we should be good to put everything back together. There we go, all the pipe work is all on. I've put the wiper motor on, I've still got to put the arms on. But everything is all in and connected up. I think I'm missing a bracket or something for here. So I need to work out where that goes because I don't have a clue. But judging by the rest of the pipe work and the way they flow, it's some sort of mount which goes here. Right, I'm just under the car now working on this dent. And now if you remember how bad it was there, I'll show you a few videos of it now. But what it is, the floor is actually aluminium, so I've been working it out, heating it up, pulling it all into the right shape. And unfortunately, there are a few little holes, so I will have to purchase or get my body shop to do a little bit of TIG welding underneath there. But as you can see, most of the dent is almost gone. So the only fault code is for the driver's side lock carrier, so I'd assume that's the crash sensor, which is underneath the floor on the right hand side. So I'm going to order one of those, see if that'll cue the fault. So that is the only fault code left on the car for the airbag. So I've ordered one of those sensors. That is the crash sensor, which is in the side of the floor down here. Yeah, so I found this connector just tucked underneath here. I only just caught it as I put it on the ramp and just caught it with a glance at the corner of my eye and found out, oh, yellow connector. The only things that are normally yellow on cars are airbag connectors. So did a little bit of research and Googling on the internet and eventually found out it was this sensor here. So let's get this sensor fitted. Now I don't know where this sensor actually goes because I've searched everywhere and I can't find a spot where you've got that little indentation and then room for a bolt to go through it. So I'm going to have another hunt for that later on. So now let's get that airbag code reset. So there is the fault code for the airbag, which is still there. Let's clear the fault code. Read fault code. There you go, no fault codes for the airbag anymore. So let's start it and see if the code's gone. There we go, all sorted. Now I'm just going to check to see if these rear wheels are buckled, but as you can see by the rear tyre, that's why you crashed. Right, let's balance this wheel up now and see if it's buckled. We might get away with that because I've left the old weights on there. It's not probably going to be weighted anyway. So by the time we put some fresh weights on that and a new tyre, I think we might get away with that one. Let's try the other one and see if that's buckled. Now just watch the wheel going round here and watch it bounce round. Tony says it needs that much to balance it, which I think is going to be a lie. So I think that one is well and truly buckled. I will take it to an alloy wheel place, see if we can get it rounded again, but I don't hold much hope, so that'll be another 650 in the kitty for the Porsche. Surprisingly enough, the rear tyre has tons of tread left on it, but would you want to use it after it's had such a big impact? I don't think I would. And more bad news, guys. I took this wheel to see if we could sort out the flat spot on it, but the flat spot actually goes all the way across the wheel to about here. Now, the guy has actually pushed some of it out to try and fix it, but unfortunately, it just isn't round anymore, so I've had to order another wheel. New wheel is here. It has already been checked for buckles, and it is perfectly round. There's just a small bit of damage on it here, and a little bit here, but I'll be getting all 4 wheels refurbished anyway. So now I just need to decide on what tyres I'm going to buy. So I've decided to test the brakes out. I've bled the rear ones perfectly fine. There was no air in those. This front one, this had a thread come out of it and somebody attempted to tighten it up and it was just spinning. So fluid was still leaking out of it. I actually found a load of fluid around the alloy wheel. So I ended up going up to a brake refurbishing company up in Nottingham, BCS I think they're called. And they put a new bleed nipple in it for it and a new thread for 75 quid, which I didn't think was too bad considering a used caliper is around £375. Pedal stays hard. It's a little bit spongy, but it stays in that position now. It doesn't sink to the floor. So I think we've sorted the brakes problem. I will most definitely bleed them again before it goes back on the road. See if we can get that little bit of, there's about 2 centimetres of play in the brake pedal. Don't know whether that's normal or not, but fingers crossed. That's the brake sorted. Woohoo! So let's do some totals now on the amount of spent, because it is actually getting quite high. If you remember from the first episode, I spent £23,250 on the car itself. I then spent £120 on the seat belts. One of the AC pipes was £240. The main AC pipe, which I fitted today, was £360. The rear spoiler was £270. The 2 indicators were £120. The track rod end, which I'm still to fit, is £150. The shock absorber, which wasn't too bad, was £360. I bought the wheel hub, which was £450. The clips for the coolant were £3. The clock spring for behind the steering wheel was £360. I bought a steering wheel, that was £600. That was the most expensive part so far. Another alloy wheel, which is £400. The airbag sensor, which I've just fitted, was £83. And finally was the wing support, which holds the wing in. That was £80. So the total of parts spent so far is a whopping £3,416, and it still looks exactly the same as when I first purchased it. So there we go. So the total spent so far is £26,666. Now I have been looking out there on Auto Trader, and for me to get an undamaged car with roughly the same spec and mileage, you're looking about £45,000. So between the two, it's looking okay, but as it's a category S, I think you're probably looking about a realistic value of it being around £35,000 if I'm lucky, because it's got a good spec and I am going to repair it to a very good standard. So there we go, that's how much I've spent so far. You let me know in the comments below whether you think it's worth it or not. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that bell icon, subscribe, share, do everything you can do to get this video as popular as possible. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the next episode.